There are moments in life when everything feels stuck, the challenges persist, the solutions remain elusive, and the turmoil refuses to fade. Amidst the uncertainty, you find yourself questioning when this will conclude. But here's the transformative truth. Every season eventually comes to a close. Regardless of how lengthy, challenging, or painful the journey appears, there is a predetermined moment when everything will transform. It may feel as though that moment is just around the corner for you. It may feel overwhelming, as if the weight is too much to bear and the challenges are never-ending. However, let me remind you of an important truth. God does not abandon unfinished stories. He has not forgotten you. He is actively at work, even when you cannot see him. Today, I want to share a powerful truth that can change your perspective on waiting, pain, and challenging moments. Remember, winter is not eternal. The night inevitably yields to the dawn, and even the loudest storms eventually pass. Stay with me, as what you're about to hear will reaffirm that God is in control, that you are not alone, and that the best is yet to come. Before we begin, I invite you to take a powerful step. Head to the comments and write, "Lord, help me to trust you. I know this season will come to an end." Declare it in faith, for God is at work, even when it's not visible. Now let's begin. Verse 1, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, everything has its time, and everything that is wanted under heaven has its time. Everything has its time. Everything that happens under heaven has an appointed time. You have stopped to think about this. Life is not a random succession of meaningless events, but a great cosmic clock in which everything happens just when it should happen, no before, not after, and although many times we do not understand why something happens the moment it does, there is a reason behind every second, every heartbeat, every encounter, and every goodbye. Sometimes we want to run, get ahead, force things to happen before their moment. But life does not allow itself to be pressured. You can try, you can despair, you can shout to the universe to give you what you want right now, but if it's not its time, it just won't happen. And if you try to push something before its time, it's very likely that you'll ruin it, like a fruit that is plucked from the tree before ripening. You'll end up with something bitter, something that isn't enjoyed, something that wasn't what you expected. On the other hand, if you hold on to something that already had its time, and that must go alone, it will fill you with anguish. Everything that it begins, it concludes, and all that flourishes will ultimately fade away. This isn't a sorrowful notion, it's merely the natural rhythm of existence. There's a moment for every beginning and every farewell, a season for creation and a season for dismantling, a time for joy and a time for sorrow. How often have you experienced moments when things don't unfold as you envisioned, when life seems to throw hurdles in your path, when achieving success feels just out of reach? The chance may feel like it's fading. Perhaps you're not failing. Perhaps it's simply not your moment yet. How often have you clung to something that is clearly no longer yours, a relationship, a job, a phase of life that has passed? You hold on, you struggle, you resist, unaware that time has already made its decision. But here's the revelation. When you grasp that everything has its own timing, the anxiety fades away, and the urge to force things dissipates. Embrace the art of letting go. Learn to flow, accept, and trust the journey ahead. If something is meant for you, it will arrive at the perfect moment. Conversely, when something has served its purpose, releasing it is essential. Just like the seasons, each phase of life has its own timing and beauty. You can't rush winter or extend summer. Each season comes and goes as it should, offering its unique lessons. Reflect on those times when things didn't unfold as you wished, only to later realize that every setback had a purpose. Perhaps losing a job led you to a better opportunity, or a relationship's end opened the door to a more compatible partner. Even moments of pain can transform you into a stronger, wiser individual, more attuned to what truly matters. Impatience can trick us into thinking we're wasting time, yearning to be elsewhere, but every moment is part of a greater plan. Embrace the reality that you are precisely where you are meant to be, not a moment too soon or too late. Life is guiding you along the journey you must undertake, even when it feels unclear. If you're currently in a waiting phase, feeling as though you're in a stagnant moment, have faith. Everything unfolds in its own time. When the moment is right, all the pieces will align and clarity will emerge. Embrace the art of letting go. When something departs, it signifies the completion of its journey in your life. Resisting what needs to leave will only lead to unnecessary pain. Embrace the idea that something fresh, something improved, and something that truly resonates with you will arrive in its own time. Remember, life isn't about exerting total control over every aspect. It's about mastering the art of movement through time. It's knowing when to take action and when to let things unfold naturally. When you truly grasp this concept, life transforms into a lighter, simpler, and more beautiful experience. Everything has its moment. What occurs every moment in the universe unfolds in its own perfect timing. Stay hopeful, let go of attachments, embrace the here and now. Trust the journey and give it the time it needs to unfold. Stanza 2 Genesis 8 verse 22, as long as the earth endures, the cycles of sowing and harvest will persist, along with the contrasts of cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. The world continues its rotation. Nothing remains unchanged, regardless of circumstances. Allow the sun to pass. It will inevitably rise each morning and gracefully set by evening. The seasons will ebb and flow. The chill will arrive, but so will the warmth. There are moments for harvesting and moments for sowing, times for effort and times for reaping rewards. Every season embodies life, an unyielding cycle that continues relentlessly, indifferent to anyone's presence. How often have you experienced the feeling that it's easy to feel confined in a challenging phase, like the chill of winter stretches on indefinitely? Life can feel like it stands still during times of pain, uncertainty, and waiting. However, the reality is this: everything is temporary. Just as winter transitions to spring and night eventually yields to day, so too will your current struggles pass. Whatever situation you find yourself in at this moment is bound to unfold. Nothing lasts forever in this world. Once you grasp this truth, you begin to embrace the journey. Patience is key. The seed won't sprout right away. Begin by sowing it, giving it water, and then allow time for growth. In the stillness of waiting, the earth is busy at work, transforming seeds beneath the surface. While you may not witness immediate changes, rest assured that growth is happening out of sight. The same principle applies to your life. Results may not be visible yet, but that doesn't imply stagnation. Often, the most significant developments occur in the unseen realms. However, here's the challenge. Some individuals wish to reap rewards without first sowing seeds. They crave success without the necessary effort, longing for achievements without the discipline required to attain them. This simply isn't feasible. You cannot harvest what you haven't planted, nor can you anticipate a bountiful summer if you haven't toiled in the spring. Additionally, there are those who do so but become disheartened when the harvest doesn't arrive immediately. They grow frustrated, lose faith, and ultimately abandon their efforts, but the pulling a tree's branches won't speed up the process. Rushing the process can jeopardize the integrity of your creation. Conversely, diligent individuals do not reap the rewards. They labor diligently, yet when the moment arrives to harvest the rewards, they are overtaken by fear. Due to uncertainty or a lack of self-worth, they allow the chance to slip away. The cycle persists, time moves forward, and what rightfully belongs to them is forfeited. Balance is essential. Understand when to plant your seeds, practice patience without losing hope, and be ready to gather your rewards when the time comes. This verse offers a profound assurance. As long as the earth endures, the cycle will persist unwaveringly. Will stop represents a commitment to reliability during unpredictable times. No matter what life throws your way or the changes you encounter, some things will always stay the same. The darkness won't endure endlessly, winter won't stretch on indefinitely, and the drought won't persist forever. There's always a significant step ahead, a new phase, an exciting opportunity waiting for you. This encourages us to appreciate every moment. When the chill is unavoidable, why not embrace it, especially with the heat on the horizon? Why not take the initiative to prepare for it instead of lamenting the current season you're experiencing? Plant your seeds with enthusiasm, nurture them with assurance, and gather your rewards with certainty. Life is a constant evolution, bringing the promise that pain will fade and challenges will be conquered. Opportunities will continue to arise, but it's essential to seize the good times as they are fleeting and won't last indefinitely. Today presents a unique chance to plant seeds in your life, your family, and your future, while also reaping the rewards of what you have previously cultivated. Keep this verse in mind when you find yourself feeling trapped. Everything will keep moving forward as long as the earth endures. Keep pushing forward. The momentum is relentless, and so should you be. Trust the journey and keep pushing forward. Stanza 3 in Daniel 2 verse 21, it states, "He changes the times and the ages. He removes and establishes kings. He imparts wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. Nothing remains constant. All is subject to change. All things are in a state of perpetual transformation, encompassing power, glory, wealth, and knowledge. One moment, someone stands at the pinnacle. The next, it all falls apart. One empire might appear unbeatable, yet with the passage of time, another rises to take its place. A leader might think their reign is everlasting, yet history reveals that no one stays on the throne indefinitely. What feels secure today could vanish tomorrow, while what appears unattainable now might just become our new reality. Regardless of how exceptional a person may be or how unshakable life appears, everything can shift in the blink of an eye. No force on earth can resist the relentless power of time and determination. Of God, He orchestrates the movements, dismantling what appears unyielding, elevating those hidden in the shadows, and bringing down those who believe themselves invincible. Here's the intriguing aspect. Often we hold tightly to the notion that circumstances should remain unchanged. We cling to jobs, relationships, and situations that we perceive as stable. We become accustomed to specific leaders, particular lifestyles, and certain change is an undeniable truth. The world around us is always shifting, and no one can halt its relentless progress. Examine the past. What number of civilizations considered themselves to be invincible? Egypt, Babylon, Rome, once mighty empires that ruled the world and shaped history. Yet, as time marched on, leaders were toppled, systems evolved, and new generations seized power. This cycle persists. Governments rise and fall, colossal corporations fade, and individuals once thought to be destined for greatness vanish into obscurity. Meanwhile, those who were underestimated often emerge to redefine the world. This verse conveys a profound message. Wisdom and knowledge stand the test of time. In a world that is constantly evolving, one truth stands out. Material wealth fades, fame is fleeting, but wisdom endures. It is bestowed by a higher power and embraced by those who are humble, curious, and open to the endless journey of learning. True wisdom is reserved for those who seek understanding, not for the arrogant who believe they have all the answers. To truly thrive in a world that's constantly evolving, you must embrace growth and adaptability. Holding onto outdated ideas and seeking comfort in the past will only hinder your progress. When the world evolves, it's essential to adjust and pursue learning. As some falter, others soar. As some stray from their course, others unveil new opportunities. Have you ever experienced the sensation that everything is stacked against you, that nothing seems to align, and that the world is crumbling around you? Yet, what appears to be chaos today could very well be the dawn of a new beginning. Often, things are not as they appear. When a king meets his end, it paves the way for another to rise and claim the throne. As one chapter closes, a fresh opportunity is on the horizon. Yet, a cautionary note: resisting change will lead to hardship. Holding on to what doesn't belong in your life will only lead to frustration. Life experiences a refreshing transformation as divine order reshapes our surroundings. Fresh paths emerge, bringing forth exciting opportunities, all while embracing and getting ready for change. As some reflect on what has been, others eagerly anticipate what lies ahead. The divine orchestrates not just the reign of kings and the passage of time, but also readies those destined to step into their roles. Are you prepared for what lies ahead? Embrace change without fear. Stay calm when uncertainty arises. Keep in mind that nothing is beyond divine oversight. While the world may seem chaotic, everything unfolds according to a greater plan. Every event serves a purpose, and everything unfolds as it is meant to be. Only those who grasp the truth can exist free from fear, anxiety, and despair. The world will continue to spin. The kings will continue to rise and fall. The realm of knowledge is set to grow endlessly. What truly counts is your willingness to embrace the change. Embrace the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to advance, for time is relentless and waits for no one. As God continues to shift the pieces and transform the world, the crucial question remains: will you be prepared when your moment arrives? Verse 4, Psalms chapter 30, verse 5. Because for a moment his anger will be, but his favor lasts a lifetime. At night the weeping will last, and in the morning the joy will come. Everything can change in a you can feel that you are in the well deeper, into an endless night of pain. But in the morning, suddenly, something new can be born, and that is the promise contained in this verse. Difficulties are not eternal. Suffering does not last forever. Yes, there are difficult moments, dark nights in which it seems that the world is falling apart, but always the morning comes, always comes the light, the wrath of God, that correction that sometimes seems so hard to us. It only lasts a moment. It's like a storm that passes quickly, but his favor, his love, his grace, that lasts a lifetime. Sometimes we focus so much on the difficult moments that we forget to see the mercy behind it. God doesn't punish to destroy, but to correct, to teach us, to mold us. And when you go through that correction, when you survive that dark night, you discover something incredible. The joy that comes after is so much more big, much deeper, much more real. How often have you experienced that overwhelming sense of despair, feeling as though all hope is gone? The pain is unbearable, and the darkness of sadness threatens to engulf you during those long nights. It's simple to feel despair. It's simple to believe that darkness is everlasting, but here's the reality. Night is not the conclusion. Night is merely a passage to something greater, regardless of how prolonged it may appear. As difficult as it may be, dawn will arrive, and with it, everything transforms. It's akin to enduring a restless night filled with worry, anxiety, and tears, only to witness the first glimmers of sunlight breaking through. The light starts to seep in. Even though nothing transformed overnight, a shift occurred within you as the morning arrived, bringing with it a sense of hope and the promise of a fresh start. There are moments when it feels like everything is falling apart, and we struggle to comprehend why certain events unfold in our lives. We question our suffering and wonder why it appears as though we've been abandoned. Yet, the truth is, we are never truly forsaken. Even in His anger, during those times when we sense correction, His favor remains present. He never abandons us, nor does He leave us alone in the shadows. He's in anticipation, crafting something exciting for us. However, the crucial point is this: you must hold firm. Stay strong through the night. The dawn is nearer than you realize. The most remarkable transformations often occur just after the toughest challenges. If you throw in the towel too soon, you may miss witnessing the extraordinary unfold. Fear, despair, and pain can lead you away from experiencing true joy. This verse conveys a deep insight into the nature of time. While pain may seem endless in the moment, it is, in truth, just a fleeting experience. Life encompasses so much more than those instances of sorrow, tears, and hardship. It is rich with love, grace, and joy. And it is this divine favor that truly shapes our existence, not the transient pain. Reflect on those moments when you triumphed over challenges that felt insurmountable: a heart-wrenching breakup, the passing of someone dear, or a crushing disappointment. In that profound moment, it seemed as though the pain would never cease, that continuing was impossible, yet you persevered. Following that somber night, the morning light broke through. While the joy may not have come at once, it slowly crept in, allowing you to heal, feel renewed, and rediscover the light. That's the way life unfolds. The dark nights are inevitable. Ultimately, the choice of how to confront them is yours. How to confront them, regretting your complaints, is a possibility. Let it go. Trust that the morning will arrive, and cling to the assurance that the tears won't endure indefinitely. There's something brighter awaiting you beyond that tempest. When dawn breaks, remember the lessons gleaned from the night. Remember the strength you've built, the faith that blossomed through adversity, and the courage you unearthed when you felt you couldn't go on. These invaluable lessons equip you to savor the joy that follows. Life is a beautiful cycle of nights and mornings, trials and triumphs, tears and laughter. Joy is always on the horizon. God's favor is ever present, even when it's not visible or felt. His love remains unwavering, His grace boundless, and His promise clear. Though weeping may endure for a night, joy will surely greet the dawn. If you find yourself in a dark night at this moment, hold on to your faith. Keep pushing forward. Dawn is approaching, happiness is on the horizon, and when it arrives, it will be more stunning, sweeter, and more impactful than you ever envisioned. This is the essence of divine strength. Turning sorrow into joy, shadows into brightness, and suffering into renewed hope. Stanza 5, Isaiah 40, verse 31, "Those who place their trust in Jehovah will find renewed strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run without fatigue. They will walk without weariness." How often have you found yourself overwhelmed, feeling as though you can't go on, that the exhaustion is insurmountable, that the weight of your responsibilities is too heavy, each step feeling like a struggle against a relentless breeze? Life can feel overwhelming, and the challenges often seem endless. Yet there's a transformative promise for those who place their hope in God: renewed strength. This isn't just any strength. It's a powerful force that transcends human limitations, turning exhaustion into energy and igniting hope for new beginnings. Waiting on God isn't about idly sitting back. It's an active trust. It's the assurance that even when the path isn't clear and answers are delayed, God is at work. In those moments of waiting, something remarkable occurs. He revitalizes you from within, providing strength that defies explanation and lifts you up when all seems lost. Have you ever witnessed the majestic flight of an eagle? Unlike other birds, it doesn't struggle. It doesn't flap its wings in a frantic attempt to remain airborne. The eagle unfurls its wings, allowing the wind to elevate it effortlessly. It embraces the current in the USA's embrace. God desires for you to live freely without weariness or exhaustion, and not to rely solely on your own strength. He invites you to trust, to release your burdens, to spread your wings, and to allow His power to elevate you above the storms. The distinction between those who place their trust in God and those who do not mirrors the contrast between an eagle and a sparrow. A sparrow tires quickly, flutters incessantly, and lives in perpetual anxiety, darting back and forth in trepidation. In contrast, the eagle soars high. It remains unfazed by the storm, confident that by simply spreading its wings, it can ascend above it all. At this moment, it may seem as though you're caught in a relentless struggle. You run, yet the fatigue only grows. You exhaust yourself in the pursuit of solutions, striving to get ahead and maintain control. Despite your relentless efforts, your strength wanes, motivation fades, and doubts take hold. It is in this moment that the essence of this verse emerges. For those who place their trust in a higher power, who cease relying solely on their own strength, are gifted with something extraordinary. They will run. They'll keep going, never feeling fatigue. They'll walk on unstoppable. Can you picture that? Picture a life free from the burden of fatigue, liberated from the hopelessness of not doing enough. The essential truth is this. To soar high, you must first release the burdens that anchor you down. It's time to stop shouldering what isn't yours, to cease fretting over the uncontrollable, and to abandon the exhausting pursuit of handling everything solo. You were not designed to endure perpetual struggle, relentless wear and tear, or an unending cycle of exhaustion. You were meant to soar, to have faith, and to embrace a life filled with peace. Take a moment to observe your surroundings. The world is teeming with weary, anxious, and desperate souls. Individuals rush from one destination to another, exhausting themselves in a relentless pursuit of things that never truly satisfy. Many have lost hope after trying everything within their own power, only to face repeated failures. But it doesn't have to remain this way. There exists a different path, a new way to progress. This verse serves as an invitation to release your burdens, to trust, and to embrace something far greater than your own efforts. It promises that when you lean on God, you will not only gain strength, but also experience a renewal of that strength and empowerment that will drive you forward, even when you feel you've reached your limit. You might feel like you've reached your limit, as if the journey has stretched on endlessly and the weight of it all is becoming too much to bear. Perhaps you've been pushing yourself to the limit, feeling like you're on the brink of exhaustion, but let me share a reality with you. When you place your trust in God and relinquish the struggle, allowing Him to take the reins, you open the door to extraordinary possibilities. Rediscover your strength, embrace a fresh sense of hope, and push beyond your own boundaries. You'll find that your potential to soar is beyond your wildest dreams. When you find yourself at the brink of your limits, keep in mind that you are not on this journey by yourself. You don't have to carry the burden alone. You were not designed to feel drained. There is a greater purpose for you to soar above the challenges, embrace your potential, release the heaviness, and cease the struggle. Trust in your journey and allow a higher power to guide you to your destination. Those who place their hope in Him never give up, never falter, and never remain stagnant. Those who wait on divine timing soar to new heights. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. The conclusion of business holds more weight than its inception. The anguish of the spirit is preferable to the arrogance of the spirit. Have you ever experienced the whirlwind of a new beginning, where chaos reigns and uncertainty looms. It's as if obstacles emerge relentlessly, one after another, leaving you questioning how it will all unfold. Embarking on a new journey can ignite a thrilling sense of possibility, yet it often brings a wave of apprehension. Doubts may creep in, fears of failure loom large, and you might question whether the endeavor is truly worthwhile. But here's the essential insight. The start may grab attention, but it's the conclusion that truly matters. Anyone can kick things off with excitement. We've all witnessed the surge of enthusiasm in others. Many individuals concentrate on the start. They are thrilled by the potential ahead. The true test lies in maintaining your determination all the way to the finish line. Challenges will arise, and there will be times when you feel like throwing the towel, or days when it seems like all your hard work is for nothing. However, if you persevere, hold your ground, and push through the tough times, the outcome will surpass your wildest dreams. However, those who grasp this principle recognize that what truly matters is not the beginning of a story, but its conclusion. Every remarkable achievement in history is rooted in hard work, sacrifices, and countless nights filled with doubt and uncertainty. Yet, those who remain steadfast and refuse to let challenges stand in their way ultimately enjoyed the fruits of their labor. Here, we delve into the second part of this verse. Better is the long-suffering of spirit than the haughtiness of spirit. What's the reason? Those who are haughty and arrogant often think they have it all figured out. They think there's no need for learning, no need for improvement, and no need for patience. In challenging times, their pride stands in the way of embracing the journey. They crave instant results without the necessary effort. Yet it is the individuals who endure in spirit, who embody humility, and who recognize that success requires time and dedication that genuinely prevail, for patience triumphs over pride, that resistance is more valuable than talent. Discipline is more. How many times have you seen people who start with a great attitude but do not have the humility to face the hard moments, get frustrated, blame others, look for excuses, but never accept that the path to something great requires patience? And on the other hand, there are people who, although they start small, although the process is difficult, although each step seems like a challenge, they move forward with humility, with perseverance, and in the end, they are the ones who see the fruits. Because everything in life is a process. A tree does not bear fruit in a day. A building is not built in a week. A great achievement does not happen overnight. But in a world where everyone wants immediate results, patience has become a rare treasure. This verse reminds us that the important thing is not the speed with which weaken the one you start, but the perseverance with which you finish. What better someone who endures trials with humility than someone who fills himself with pride and gives up when things don't go as expected? Look at your own life. How many times have you wanted to leave everything because things haven't gone as you planned? How many times have you felt that the process is too long, too difficult? But here's the truth. If you keep going, yes, you learn to accept each stage. If you stand your ground, even when things don't seem to move forward, the end will be much better than you ever imagined. Because that's life. There are difficult moments, times when nothing seems to make sense, times when the idea of surrender seems the only option. But those who understand that the process is part of growth, that suffering forges character, that patience brings reward, those are the ones who make it to the end. So if right now that the road is long, that the challenges are too many, that the beginning has been hard and the end seems far away, remember this: the beginning never defines the story, but the end does. And if you have the humility to endure the process, if you are patient, if you trust that each step brings you closer to the purpose, sooner or later you will see the result. No matter how difficult the beginning was, what really matters is minas. And if you go forward with faith, with effort, and with humility, the end will be much better than you could ever imagine. Verse 7, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17, because this slight momentary tribulation produces in us an increasingly excellent and eternal weight of glory, which today seems unbearable, tomorrow will be only a memory. What you feel like an endless storm, over time it will become the reason you became stronger, because life is not about avoiding suffering, but about understanding that every pain, every trial, every obstacle has a bigger purpose. Think about it. How many times have you gone through dark moments where you felt there was no way out? In those moments, the pain is real, the despair is overwhelming, and the idea moving forward seems impossible. But then when time passes, when you look back, you realize something powerful. Everything you suffered made you grow. Everything you cried taught you something. Everything that seemed like a defeat was actually training for what came next. That's what this verse tells us. Tribulation is momentary, no matter how big the problem seems. No matter how much it hurts right now, it won't last forever. But there's something even more important. It's not just fleeting, it's purposeful. It's not senseless suffering. It's not pain for no reason. Every blow, every fall, every tear is producing something inside you. Something eternal, something glorious, something you can't see now. But one day you'll be thankful for. It's like the fire that purifies gold. At first it looks like destruction. It seems like everything is falling apart. But what's actually happening is that gold is becoming purer, more valuable, and likewise every trial in your life is not there to destroy you, but to transform you, to make you stronger, more resilient, wiser. But here's the problem. Many people give up in the middle of the process, when the fire gets intense, when the pressure is too great. Many quit. They stop fighting. They don't understand that what they are experiencing is not the end, but the preparation for something better. Look at any great success story. None of them happened without difficulties. Every person who has achieved something great has gone through moments where it seemed that everything was lost. But instead of giving up, instead of letting the pain stop them, they kept going because they understood that the tribulation was temporary, but the reward was eternal. How many times have you felt that what you are living is too much, that you can no longer do more than the weight? It is too big, that the fight is too difficult. It is normal to feel this way. But here is something you must remember. It is not just about resisting. It is about knowing that each battle is producing something in you. Patience develops in waiting. Strength is built in adversity. Faith is strengthened in the moments when you see no way out. And what today is a heavy burden tomorrow will be the reason why you will be able to lift others up, because every struggle has a purpose. Every pain you face now is creating in you a glory that you cannot imagine, something that cannot be bought, something that cannot be earned effortlessly. Look at nature. A diamond is not formed without pressure. A tree does not grow strong without facing storms. A butterfly cannot fly without first fighting to get out of its cocoon. And likewise, every trial in your life is the process that is making you the person you need to be. But here is the most important part. You cannot give up before seeing the result. You cannot allow momentary pain to make you lose the eternal glory that God is preparing for yourself. So if you are in the midst of a trial right now, if you feel that life is hitting you relentlessly, remember this. All this is temporary. It will not be like this forever. But what this tribulation is producing in you, yes, it will be eternal. Do not focus on the pain of the moment. Focus on what comes next. Do not obsess over the struggle, but with the transformation that is happening inside of you, because when this is over, when you come out from somewhere else, you will be stronger, wiser, more prepared. And when you look back, you will realize that every tear was worth it, because it took you to a level of glory that you would never have reached without that test. So keep going. Don't give up. Don't let the momentary tribulation make you lose the eternal reward, because what hurts today will be the reason why you will shine brighter than ever. Verse 8, Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, let us not grow weary of doing good, For in due time we will reap if we do not faint. How many times have you felt that doing good is not worth it, that you give your best but you don't see results, that you strive to be a good person, to help, to be just, but instead of receiving gratitude, the only thing that you get is indifference or worse? Justice is easy to get tired, is easy to give up, is easy to say, why keep striving if no one values it? But here is the key. It is not about seeing immediate results. It is about trusting that in its due time, everything you sow will bear fruit. This is how life works. You cannot plant a seed today and hope that tomorrow there will be a huge tree. Everything has its process. Everything it takes its time. And what is with effort, with love, with patience, at some point will give its reward. But that is the problem of many. They give up before seeing the harvest. They do good for a while, but when they do not see the results they expected, they get frustrated and stop trying. It is like a farmer who sows his field, but since he does not see immediate growth, he stops watering the plants and abandons his. What happens then? What was about to bear fruit withers, not because the seed was bad, not because the harvest was not possible, but because he fainted before his time, which is why this verse is so powerful, because it tells us that the problem is not that the reward does not exist. Many give up before reaching their goal. They cease doing good because they believe it isn't attainable. Working without realizing that they were about to see the fruits of their effort. Look around the world. Needs more people who don't get tired of doing good, needs more people who keep going despite the ingratitude, despite indifference, despite the fact that no one seems to notice their effort. Because in the end, it's not about who thanks you. It's not about who thanks you when no one is watching. It's about sowing, even if you don't see the harvest right away. Think of the story of someone who has made real change. No great transformation happened overnight. No great work was built without sacrifice. No person who made a difference in the world did so without facing critical obstacles, moments of discouragement. But the difference between those who they achieve something and those who don't are not that they did not give up sooner or later. What you sow comes back to you. It may not be in the time you expect it, may not be the way you imagine, but the law of sowing and harvesting, it does not fail. What you do with love, what you give without expecting anything in return, what you build with effort and honesty, sooner or later will have its reward. But here's the warning. If you get tired, if you give up, if you decide to abandon the path because you don't see immediate results over everything that was in the process of growing, not because there wasn't fruit, but because you didn't wait long enough to pick it. So the next time you feel like it's not worth it, the next time you think about giving up, remember this. Not everyone is going to see what you do. Not everyone will thank you. Not everyone will recognize your effort, but God does see it, and the harvest that comes for those who do not faint is much greater than you can imagine. Do not get tired of doing good. Do not get tired of being different in a world that has lost values. Do not tire of striving when everything seems against you, because in its time the harvest will come. And when it comes, you will realize that every sacrifice, every act of kindness, every moment you chose to go on was completely worth it. Verse 9, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 10, but the God of all grace, who called us to his eternal glory in Jesus Christ, after you have suffered a little while, he himself perfects you, affirms, strengthens, and establishes suffering. It is never forever. It can feel eternal when you are living it. It may seem that there is no way out, that the pain has no end, but here is a truth that changes all. Suffering, it has a purpose. It is not in vain. It is not random. It is not meaningless. It is part of a process that leads you to something greater. We have all at some point gone through times of trial, moments in which we feel that life hits us. We relentlessly ask ourselves, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why does God allow this to happen to me? But this verse gives us the answer, because after you have suffered a little time, God himself will perfect you, affirm you, strengthen you, and establish you. Think about this. Every growth process involves a period of difficulty. An athlete who wants to become stronger has to go through hard training. Push beyond your limits and embrace the challenge of each repetition. Just as a diamond is forged under immense pressure and a tree establishes deep roots by weathering storms, you too must endure trials to become the person you are meant to be. Remember, suffering is not the conclusion. It's merely a phase in your journey. If you can withstand the trials and remain steadfast, what lies ahead is far greater. There is purpose in your pain. It's not without reason that you face adversity. Each struggle is a step towards refinement, a necessary part of a divine plan to strengthen you. This is the cycle. First comes suffering, then restoration. First comes testing, then reward. First comes the fight, then victory. Many find themselves trapped in the initial phase, fixating solely on the pain, the loss, and the challenges. In their despair, they surrender, believing that they have been forsaken, that life will remain bleak, and that this is their permanent state. What they fail to see is that they are merely one step away from a transformative restoration. Notice how the verse expresses it. After you have endured for a brief period, it doesn't claim it will last forever. It doesn't suggest it will go on endlessly. It doesn't say without purpose. It says a little time. That means that everything you are living has a limit. It will not be eternal. It will not last forever. The moment God says enough, everything will change. And when that happens, when the suffering ends, He Himself will take care of restoring you. It will not be the world. It will not be the circumstances. It will not be you by your own strength. It will be God Himself. It will be He who perfects you, whoever strengthens you, whoever establishes you. That means that everything that today seems uncertain will one day have stability. Everything that hurts today will one day be a source of strength. Everything that today seems to fall apart, one day will become something firm, solid, unbreakable. God doesn't just want you to survive the trial. He wants you to come out of it stronger, wiser, more prepared for what's to come. Because after the process, after the pain, after the struggle comes the establishment. Look at your life. How many times have you gone through moments when you thought you weren't going to be able to take it anymore? How many times did you feel that everything was lost, but now you look back and you realize that every trial you went through made you stronger than every time you thought it was all over? You were actually being prepared for something better. If you're in the middle of a storm right now, if you feel like the test is too big, I want you to remember, this isn't the end. God already has a plan for what comes next, and what comes after is not more suffering. No, it's more pain. It's not more uncertainty. What comes next is restoration, it's stability, it's strength. No matter how strong the trial is, no matter how long you feel like you've been struggling, God won't allow you to stay in that state forever. But you have to trust, you have to endure, you have to understand that this process has a greater purpose than you can now see. And when the day comes, you will be able to make God take you out of the test when He finally lifts you up, when He sets you in a firm place.